G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning into today's voting video on YouTube. Of course, yes, we've got some noticeable differences here. The neighbours have basically trimmed off the hedgerows, which obviously I wouldn't mind about that. Basically, I wouldn't say it's that, well, let's just say prohibited than it is to tree chopping, unless if that tree has got like a disease or whatnot, in particular, either one of them or not. And yes, as you can see, the grass outside looks very, very bad. It looks absolutely parched and dry and somewhat brownish in colour. And it just shows you the absolute scary scope of what's potentially happening at the moment in my backyard garden. I'll talk about the plants later on, but as you can see, look at the grass. It has been very much brown, bone dry, and we had near to basically no next to basically any tour ever since June of 2026. And guess what? It's been like 2 weeks, and this is actually our third week being devoid of rainfall, and we've got a seagull that's probably soaring after for some food. Okie dokie, we've got one curious looking seagull hawking around, flying around for some bread or whatever else. It's just flying around somehow, and there's actually about 2 of them right here. Pretty amazing of how close these seagulls often tend to get. It's actually quite breezy. But despite being breezy, I wouldn't say that we're going to get some relief rainfall. But maybe I might be totally nutly wrong, because I can assure you our weather is becoming extremely unpredictable once we get towards August. I'm sure about that. Anyways, as humans, we tend to be fairly lazy, stubborn, and somewhat arrogant in so many ways that, well, let's just say our pig-headed nature has made it completely and utterly difficult. I tell you what, well, I think we might have been determined in the wrong sort of way, I have to say, hey? Yeah, humans tend to really make a lot of mistakes, don't they? But then, hey, we just keep on carrying on whatever the hell that ever, well, let's just say, throws back at us. But let's just straightforward move on. Okay, let's talk about some of the really good plants that I've planted. Of course, yes, we've got a sunflower seedling, which has actually grown up into a full-sized adult sunflower. And hopefully, as we straightforward culminate July and head into August, we might start to see another sunflower. And I'm actually so glad and happy to know that there's another sunflower bud that's actually shooting right out, and there could potentially be a third one, which is actually quite nice to know, amongst the nasturtiums. And yes, these nasturtiums have actually been blossoming like mad. It is actually amazing to see why these nasturtiums have been absolutely ballistic. They've actually gone very good. So far, so good, as I could say the least. Some pumpkin seedlings, and yes, as I said earlier on before, they are actually growing very, very wide and somewhat stagnant. And I'll tell you what, the pumpkin seedlings are actually doing very incredible. Very nice to know. And we've got more calendula seedlings, more nasturtium seedlings, and also some peppers as well. And as you can see, the juvenile nasturtiums have also started to become a little bit like their adultified cousins. If that's a word, of course. And yes, we've all got different types of nasturtiums in my backyard. In fact, I've actually got some which are scarlety red in colour, others which are just plain yellowish orange in colour, and some have got like a very autumnal or fiery pattern, which is actually very nice. Some of which have actually got a little bit of a, obviously they do look fiery colour, but I can do see a bloody patch of maroon, and the crow is actually scored. So yes, nasturtiums come in a variety of colours like red, yellow, orange, and a hint of maroon. This one here is probably like wilting, obviously. I do want to try and protect these flowers and not tamper them, obviously, because, you know, these flowers are very much a mutual part of my backyard garden, restoring the ecosystem, and that's what I'm on about, actually. Okay, we've got more pumpkins. More seedlings, actually, and I'm actually very happy of how this actually turns out. We've got a, well, I don't know what that plant is. I thought it was a mustard, but I don't think it is. That's switching another plant, which is, of course, the pumpkin seedling. And yes, we've got more pumpkin seedlings. They've actually grown significantly big and tall. As you can see, the number of pumpkin seedlings have actually started to really become relatively big, I suppose. I've only just planted about, let's just say, over 16 individuals, because there was about 8 on the pack. I can't really remember, maybe it was like 10 or 20 of them. I have got no idea of how many pumpkins am I actually growing at this point. It's just so fantastic. Seeing the way of how I planted my backyard garden plants says to me that they're actually much more bigger and bustling than the one I did in 2025. Also, do bear in mind, hey, there was a mixture of agriculture and a mixture of horticulture. Basically, 2 different types of gardening. And yes, I don't want to sound like a complete hypocrite, but my backyard garden has been absolutely rampant. I'll tell you what, without sounding, like a hypocrite, I'll tell you what, it's actually looking pretty good so far. The soil has been kept watered so far today, although it's been quite cool. There hasn't been any signs of rainfall. And I tell you what, it feels like I'm in the middle of Africa because of the grass. I mean, going by the looks of it, it is very, very parched. You see how nasty and gnarly the grass is. I think I'm still waiting for some rainfall, but it feels like we're going into more of a Mediterranean or sort of a desert-like climate, which is actually one of the few errors about this type of climate. It feels like we're going to barely receive any rainfall at all this year, as sad as this sounds. But anyways, let's see what else. Okay, we've got more plants right here, of course. We've got some strawberries. This one here tends to be the much more better one, and I do apologize for my hands being very dirty because I was doing a lot of arts and crafts and whatnot. Some more strawberry leaves, but I'm not seeing any fruit, which is a bit strange. Strangely enough, I seem to put fruit on it, and there's a nasturtium that's actually growing inside of that strawberry plant's territory, which is actually quite strange. There you go, another strawberry plant. I have to say, this one here is doing very, very good. And also, guess what? Look how many strawberries. I've got about 3 of these. If we get enough warm weather, well, they will ripen very, very fast and very quickly over time. More pumpkin seedlings. These ones have been doing very, very good. There's also an onion seedling, which has also been competed against. Well, look at that pumpkin seedling. That's growing quite massive. You can start to see how small they look at first, but when they start to grow, they start to get absolutely aggressive. Like nasturtiums, they will grow very, very fast, but also they'll just grow widely. They're very aggressive growers. They'll just basically grow rampantly, no matter how or where they would actually go. And let's take a look at the animal bowls, and yes, quite a few of these have actually been drunken emptily wise, so I might have to probably clean these up. I might have to the animal bowls because obviously, yeah, I think they've been drunken by the animals, so I might have to try and replenish all of that to allow more critters to basically drink, because we are going to be entering into another heat wave again. There is a robin. Yeah, I think the problem with heat waves is that they are one of the few silent killers, and you just don't actually notice of why they seem to be going absolutely more frequent than never ever before. I think we had one of the few, I don't know, and the wind's blowing really, really hard. But it's not yet autumn, it's just a stagnant breeze. Alright, obviously the breeze is going completely and utterly, well, let's just say haywire. Obviously, I suppose so. It actually is quite cloudy as well too, because we've got pressure that's basically developing. I think it's a northerly high pressure system. It's either northeasterly or northwesterly, I can't really tell. Or maybe it could be high pressure building west. Summer is, yes, stagnated with a lot of high pressure. I'm still waiting for some rainfall. It feels like we're not getting that much. Oh man, it's really sad when you don't have that much rainfall actually. But yeah, nevertheless, we are in a bit of a healthier condition. We've got some cornflowers that have actually started to pop out their buds, and yes, they're looking quite good. I'm going to have to probably re-water this because it's actually looking pretty bone dry. I think this one's actually doing quite good. Although it's looking quite bendy, this one here, I'm gonna have to probably, like, basically re-water that section if I have some time, because I can assure you that cornflower seedling and also that one there, oh gosh, I think that's dirt and not fire smoke. I can assure you that as the soil starts to dry up like parched grass, that might probably prevent the plants from growing really well. Although, do bear in mind, maybe I need to buy some like drought-tolerant plants to see if I can combat and confront against this nasty enemy, of course. Which is, of course, my frenemy, I have to say, heat waves. Heat waves are, of course, a frenemy. And that there is a juvenile robin. As you can see, it looks like he's quite a friendly neighbour, that one. Trying to be very much careful because this guy is absolutely nervous whenever I straight forward. There you go. You can actually see he's transitioning into more... He's actually stepping into one of my plant pots. Hope he's not eating all of my seeds. Basically, he's on the move and stuff. Just finding food. That's a very close shot of a juvenile robin. That's very nice. It's actually a very fast-moving bird. Beautiful. Very, very cute looking. It's actually coming close. It actually sort of camouflage as well with the ground that he's in. Just basically finding food. Off he goes. Yeah, that's one of the nicest shots. It's one of these things where, these birds really prioritize in a bit of food. And I think these birds heavily rely on the insects that are literally underground. It's actually quite nice seeing of how I really look after my backyard garden. Whoa! Just nicked over my plant pots. Just very stunning. Off he goes. Look at that. He's actually roaming around across through my nasturtiums. Hopefully he doesn't wreck one of my plants by just, let's just say, running past by them. He's very much... Well, I can see a calendula that needs some deadheading. It's actually very, very nice to see that bird. He's actually at a very healthy position somehow. So far, so good. And do you know what's actually really good about this heat wave? As it has been stagnantly dry, there hasn't been any snails or slugs so far. I think if we get a wet summer, we often tend to get like big clumps of snails and slugs, and that can pose a negative and devastating effect on humans' crops. But although we are going into a pathway where dry weather is going to be most likely, and in particular hot and dry weather is of course the most likely for summer, of course, in future summers, of course, which is going to be scary and somewhat worrying, because obviously this is very much of how meteorologists, let's just say meteorologists, and how real human beings are going to be like at the moment. Yes. That's a very nice shot of that bird just feeding on some insects. It's amazing how they can find food, especially on the driest times of the year. Yes. It's a very nice shot of that robin. Very curious. Mootling around for all sorts of critters. Beetles. Ants. They'll just pretty much eat anything, of course, that is lying underneath the undergrowth. And the shed door is going to pretty much knock me. It's just such a wonderful critter. And he's pretty much perched. What if I could get close? Whoa! Right next to the potatoes. Potato plant seedlings have actually been doing so well. And I don't think they've been doing so bad. I suppose saying they've been doing oh so well. And this one's having a nice search-a-rooney sort of thing. Going quite close. Whoa, that's actually very close to me. Be careful there. I will straightforward cobble you to death. This bird here really knows his stuff. He's actually straightforward, highly alertive. And it's amazing how the juvenile birds, they really seem to find food very, very instantly. And it's that sort of time of the year, actually. With juvenile birds, they're always on the lookout for some remnants and food alike. It's so good. It's just so cute seeing one. It is, I have to say, that juvenile robin is very much dependent on finding food, Where grubs, I have to say larvae. It's just so beautiful seeing how it feeds amongst the soil. Hey, it's just so beautiful, so nice at all times. Ah, just a beautiful sight of bird watching. And as you can see, he's actually transitioning from being a youngling into an adult. It's like a teenager bird, as you can see, hey? And he just did a crap. Well done. You've basically took a crap, but at least you didn't do badly than those cats. If I was going to catch you at any moment, I would say, but because you are highly protected, I wouldn't dare say so. Yeah, you can just see how curious this robin is, and there's actually a ladybird actually clinging onto one of my nasturtiums. And if I turn the brightness, you can actually see that there's a ladybird that's actually attacking the aphids in my backyard garden. Yeah, obviously, although my backyard garden has been relatively successful, yeah, there's been a massive aphid problem so far. But the aphid problem might probably thin down as the dry weather persists on, which might be a very good thing, just to keep everything intact. And basically, my backyard garden is looking oh so good. So good in so many ways. Let's see if I can go next to him. What is that? What did he just grab? I have got no idea. I do love the dullish and sort of dummy looking, sorry, actually more like the very dull, dumpy looking colorization of him. And I'm pretty sure he can fly, but he's not that energetic at the moment. Maybe during the winter when he grows up, he might change into that adult-like colorization. Just such a beautiful looking critter in so many ways. Yeah, it's so nice seeing a juvenile robin. What if I can go very close to him? Whoa! Sorry about that. I was just straightforward trying to get a very good shot of you. But it looks like I have, in so many ways. So yeah, my backyard garden's looking very good. I can't see any faults, apart from maybe this tin here, with the cornflower and the calendula. These two are doing good. But I think that pea seedling unfortunately dried up. Maybe I might have overwatered. Or maybe I might have just... that's just not. That's just what it is somehow with plants. You just don't know of how they're going to really react when water is being poured. I do try and aggressively water as much. I wouldn't say aggressively as just destroying things. I'm just taking some very serious matters into my own mind. Okay, when it comes to the watering plants, like here is that thistle there, which is collapsed. And because of it, I can just basically trim and deadhead and actually dead stem that entire thing, and hopefully it might start to regenerate as another totally different, let's just say a completely and utterly different plant. I mean, who knows about that? Anyways, I'm new here, because it's been quite a very dedicated talk of how my backyard garden's been doing. So if you really enjoyed this video, please give this video a very good like. Subscribe for that videos in the future. I might actually want to talk about the hedgerows in another video, because obviously that might be quite interesting to talk about why they've been trimmed down. And yeah, I'll just talk about it even more. As always, thanks so much for watching, and bye for now. That's all I could say here.